Okay. Some of y'all having trouble tensioning your yarn, holding onto the yarn and the needle at the same time that you're knitting, which is the hardest part of the knitting process. So what I've showed you is to hold the yarn and the needle at the same time. Sometimes you can just hold it with your fingers, wrap it around, and then grab hold of the needle, still holding onto the yarn as you knit. The way I hold my yarn is I wrap around my fingers so that I can then hold the needle and then wrap around and knit. If you hold it in your left hand, do a lot of this wrapping business, and then you knit, but you're already halfway there. You don't have to keep knitting around, and then you just bring that around like that and pull it off. So some of the ways people knit is they hold the needles way down at the bottom of the needle while still holding onto the yarn, and then they wrap like that, and then holding it way down here, pull, and you've got to bend your arm like this and then pull the stitch off. The problem with this is that you're in an awkward position, which will create tension in your hand as well as your elbow because you've got a lot of movement happening here. And if you hold it way down here and pull it up, you're stretching those stitches out. See how you're stretching it instead of just being up here and moving all of this along. Moving the yarn together as you pull it off. Because if you're here and you're not moving all of this yarn, but you're pulling on it to get the stitch off, see how that yarn just moved? You're stretching everything and you're distorting your stitches, right? Ooh, and I just made a little boo-boo. So to avoid the distortions, hold your fingers closer to the tips, close to where the taper is, and then pull your stitches off. And then you can see how I moved my left hand. My left hand is helping to move the stitches along. So you're not going to get that distortion. It just stays right here. So use your index fingers to help support the knitting as you go along, whether you're doing it this way or just holding it this way, holding it closer to the tapered part of the needle tips will help give you more control of the stitches. But don't pull too tightly either. Just let it naturally. So as you put the needle in and you go to grab the yarn, it's naturally going to give you the tightness that you need on this stitch. Because if you pull this before you pull it really tight before, that stitch is going to be so tight you won't be able to get the needle in on the next row. So just, let it be loose, even if it's very loosey-goosey. As you go to wrap, it'll automatically tighten only for what you need, and then you can do the stitch, right? And some people are like holding the little nibby-nubby thing against your tummy or your thigh or whatever, and then doing more movement with the left hand needle. So the left hand needle goes up and down, kind of like this, instead of using the right hand needle doing more of the work. That's totally fine. Totally fine if you anchor the little stopper thing on the table, on your waist, whatever, and you can hold it, and it's easier to hold the yarn by moving this, right? Like, that's totally cool. There's a whole part of Europe that's how they knit. It's just like that, right? That's totally cool. So just keep to the tips. You're not making salad, right? Stay up here, and you can find a way that you can tension that's more comfortable for you, right? Whichever hand you want to use, you know, it'll come. It takes time. It's just new.